Hey everyone, hello and assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Slough, for coming out and showing your support. This is not the time to ignore or remain silent. We are not in an era where we can plead ignorance. We carry the media in our phones, in our hands. We can see live from any corner of the world. The Western governments and the mainstream media are playing mental gymnastics. We have already been and are in the middle of psychological warfare propaganda. This went into full swing from October the 7th. Israeli Hasbara, the name given by the Zionists to their psychological propaganda, was swift to pump up Israeli deaths on October the 7th. We are familiar now with the fabricated Islamophobic story of 40 beheaded babies and mass rape allegations. This gave unquestionable cover to the onslaught of genocide in the eyes of the Western powers. The stomach-churning phrase, "Israel has the right to defend itself," said over and over again. But don't let anyone convince you that it started on October the 7th. The first massacre, Haifa Massacre 1937, Jerusalem Massacre 1937, Balad al-Sheikh Massacre 1939, Haifa Massacre 1939, Haifa Massacre 1947, Abbasiya Massacre 1947, Al-Qisas Massacre 1947, Bab al-Amud Massacre 1947, Jerusalem Massacre 1947, Sheikh Burak Massacre 1947, Jaffa Massacre 1948, Deir Yassin Massacre 1948, Tantura Massacre 1948, Khan Yunis Massacre 1956, Jerusalem Massacre 1967, Baro al-Bukhar Massacre 1972, Sabra and Shatila Massacre 1982, Al-Aqsa Mosque Massacre 1990, Ibrahimi Mosque Massacre 1994, Jenin Refugee Camp, April 2002, the Gaza Massacre of 2008-2009, Gaza Massacre of 2012, Gaza Massacre 2014, Gaza Massacre of 2018-2019, Gaza Massacre 2021, Gaza Massacre 2023, and is still ongoing. That's 26 massacres against the Palestinian people. However, the Western powers and media are outraged when the poor Palestinians break the apartheid wall, the occupation wall, and open-air prison camps to take hostages and attack the Israeli military. It was Israel who put into motion the Hannibal Directive, an operation where they will kill their own people so that they would not become hostages and Israel will not be forced to release Palestinian prisoners and hostages like the thousands of women and children. I have some rough and complete figures of the Gaza death toll. They don't include the people now being killed in the West Bank, which is being attacked by unprecedented levels of IDF and settlers. The These are figures of a genocide. And our government and media want you to debate them, i.e. debate genocide. Who would have thought of that? But that's what they do on the news. They have tried to normalize and minimize them. They are trying to make people accept the victims as responsible for their own deaths. They want you to think of the Zionist aggressor as the victim. Their propaganda and Hasbara allows them to blame Palestinians by dehumanizing them. I give you the racist and sadistic quote from Golda Meir, the Israeli PM in the 60s. And I quote, she says, "We can forgive the Arabs for killing our children, but we cannot forgive them for forcing us to kill their children. We can only have peace with the Arabs when they love their children more than they hate us." Experts have likened this quote to a psychopathic partner in a relationship who batters their victim violently and then blames the victim for making them do it. This is the same mentality of Netanyahu and his war cabinet. I kill Palestinians and find ways of blaming the Palestinians. They continue to use the human shield talk, but the only time we see Palestinians being used as human shields is by Israeli occupation forces. Netanyahu claims that this is a war to get rid of the Palestinian resistance to the Western audience. But for his home audience, he has said he will unleash biblical wrath in the story of the Amalekites, slaughtering men, women, children, and their animals. The stats they want you to believe and accept as normal are from a land that's only 30 miles long and 5 miles wide, just 1/6 the size of London. Up-to-date figures, which are about 2 weeks old, are 34,000 martyrs. 70% are women and children. That's about 24,000 women and children. 76,000 are injured. Roughly 11,000 children are killed. And this doesn't include the thousands buried and missing. Children are mercilessly targeted and killed, as we saw with the strike of women playing football. Again, we will no doubt have the Israelis on mainstream media given the opportunity to talk away and blame the Palestinians for making them kill their own children. Over 5,000 Palestinian women are expected to give birth. Are evident. Palestinian life is valueless. Palestinians have been dehumanized and depicted as human animals by Israeli government officials. The hypocrisy of the Western powers is not lost on the rest of the world. Their condemnation of crimes in Ukraine and simultaneously the refusal to acknowledge the suffering inflicted by Israel and Palestinians are such a double standard that is plain to see for all. Along with the government, the media uses its misinformation and spreading of false facts about the war to continue Western political support for Israel and to continue selling them arms and keeping this pariah state afloat, sending in billions of dollars and arms and thousands of settlers to replace the population. This is where we, the people, come in. It might have been 6 months, but we cannot feel tired. Imagine how tired the Palestinians are feeling having to live the genocide. Actions for us all. If you haven't done so, please join Palestine Solidarity Campaign and the Friends of Al-Aqsa, as Sue pointed out.